31 overweight husband lost a lot of weight and now I'm 27F insecure. My husband and I have been married for 3 years and were dating for 2.5 before that. In the beginning, we were both really in shape and met while training for a half marathon. About a year into our relationship and a year before getting married, we had both gotten complacent and sedentary since our jobs were unexpectedly demanding and we gained a lot of weight. My husband went from a BMI of 20 to 26 and I went from a BMI of 19 to 27, so we both were overweight when we got married. Over the course of our marriage, I've been gaining more weight and he's been steadily losing. I've been proud of him and trying to lose weight by joining him at the gym again and picking up running, but he brought one of his gym friends home for dinner and I just felt so horrible. After all his weight loss working out, he's in the best shape I've ever seen him and his abs are starting to be more and more visible. His gym friend is in better shape than I have ever been. She's skinny and tall and has like 18% body fat and I just feel so horrible. I know he would never cheat, but I catch his eyes lingering sometimes and it's really upsetting. I feel like I'm depriving him of the beautiful wife he deserves. I'm the heaviest I've ever been and he's the lightest he's ever been, and our time life has dwindled down to once a month and he really only does it for me. It doesn't help that I catch his gym friend, the woman he brought to dinner, staring at him too, and it's like they have sizzling time mule tension, and it's just been breaking my heart. Advice please. Update. 31M husband cheated on 27F me with his fit and skinny gym friend. I came home from work early. I'm an OB nurse, so my hours are pretty unpredictable, and found female sneakers in the garage that weren't mine. At that point, I sort of already knew what I'd be walking into. My husband has recently become very fit and has been consistently going to the gym, during which he made a female friend who he even brought home for dinner last week. She's beautiful and thin and everything I am not, which instantly made me feel horrible. So I talked to him about it. He encouraged me to build my confidence and reassured me he loved me and would always be loyal to me. I walked into the laundry room from the garage and sort of tiptoed around the house before going upstairs. They were having sex. In our bed. With a framed picture from our wedding above the nightstand next to it. I silently left the room and got back in my car with tears streaming down my face and drove to get food and just sat in my car crying since. It's now almost 1 a.m. Walked in on them at 7 p.m. and I've returned to the hospital. He called me asking why I wasn't home and I told him my shift is extended, but in reality, I'm laying in one of the on-call rooms bawling my eyes out as I type this. I feel so worthless and ugly and stupid. I don't even know how to proceed. On one hand, I want to divorce him and never see him again, but on the other hand, I'm an ugly woman. It's not like I can do better. I just want to die. I feel so gross and the self-loathing is getting too much right now. Advice please. Edit. Thank you all for the kind comments and support. Please stop commenting, however. I think I've heard just about everything, including some horrible things about my weight. I don't care about internet points or whatever, and the notifications are getting crazy. Reading through these comments has been a nice way to keep myself sane these past few hours. I still have no idea what I am going to do, and I know everyone wants me to leave, but a marriage is more than can be illustrated with a couple of words on a website. He was a great husband and I can't help but feel at fault for neglecting myself weight-wise. I don't know if I will stay, but that's all I really know right now.
Stay tuned for more.
Edit. I didn't expect this to blow up as much as it did, and while I'm incredibly grateful for all the nice and supportive comments, please stop messaging me about how I should stop eating or laugh at me for expecting a faithful husband while being overweight. It is incredibly upsetting and I am already going through a lot. I feel I need to clarify since everyone seems to care that I had food after I found out. I had been working a shift from 7 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. during which I had been all over the place. I had lunch at 11 a.m. and nothing else until I left. I was starving and hurt and driving around with tears streaming down my face. Please stop harassing me about that. Redditor's reaction story 2 after. Redditor 1. When you see a woman that you don't find particularly attractive or skinny walking down the street with her partner, do you think she deserves to be cheated on? I really don't think so. You wouldn't be this mean to anyone else, so why treat yourself this way? Redditor 2. Take it from me, the worst possible thing is to stay with him because you are afraid of not finding someone else. Life is just too short to be miserable with someone who doesn't value you. You are still young, don't waste that time. Ready to follow up? I agree. Op is only 27, that is still quite young and leaves plenty of time to find new love and move on. It will suck to be divorced so young as well, but I'd rather be a divorcee than be the other woman in my own marriage. Ready to 3, I'm an ugly woman. I'm not so sure about this. I mean, I don't know you, but here is what I have for evidence. Your husband reassured you when you initially talked to him about her. People don't do this for Beechia Shoals. Something inside of you was valuable enough for him to want to respond with kindness, even if in the end he succumbed to temptation. You are a nurse. You work to help others. You may save lives, I don't know. I have no idea what role you have in your job, but benefit of the doubt. When you found out, you didn't go crazy woman violent, throwing things or throwing his stuff on the lawn and setting it on fire, etc. What did you do? You went somewhere safe, cried and allowed your emotions to register, and now you are asking for advice. Can you not see how ducking reasonable and awesome you are? Like, you handle yourself well. The fact that you're crying doesn't diminish this. You are allowed to cry. It's serious. It's warranted. I think you might be really beautiful. You may just need to find a person who values beauty of character, instead of something only skin deep. Ready to follow up. It reminds me of that Roald Dahl bit. A person who has good thoughts cannot ever be ugly. You can have a wonky nose and a crooked mouth and a double chin and stick out teeth, but if you have good thoughts they will shine out of your face like sunbeams and you will always look lovely.
Stay tuned for more.
Story 2. He cheated with the same woman again. I'm new to posting, so please pardon my lack of abbreviation knowledge on this subpage. My husband and I have been married for 24 years. We have 3 daughters, 1 in college and 2 at home. He had an affair with a co-worker friend in 2016. She and her husband were friends of ours and they have children similar to our girl's age. We were close and even vacationed together during the time they were fooling around. It started as an emotional affair, but they ended up making out behind grocery stores and in parking lots. He and she swore that they did not have sex. I found out about his infidelity and we separated. Her husband made her quit her secretarial job there and I was hopeful it would be the last we saw of her. My husband and I went to counseling and I decided to give him another chance. It was a difficult time because trust was gone and our daughters were obviously affected by his absence. 5 years passed and with counseling and guidance on better communication, my trust was not fully repaired, but getting better. He reassured me that she was no longer a blip on his radar. Come December 21, 2021, he left early to work. He is up at 5 a.m. to work out daily, kissed me goodbye, and told me he loved me. After he kissed me, I couldn't fall back asleep. I thought I'd meet him at the gym at his work to work out. I got dressed and realized he may be running in a nearby neighborhood by his work, as some days out of the week, he does this. I wanted to make sure he was not out running because he is the only one with a key and I didn't want to be locked out. I look on, find my iPhone and he is at a CVS on the street she lives on. As I exit the garage and haul ass to his office 5 minutes away, I call him and ask him where he's at. He said at McDonald's, which was on the road I was on, and the McDonald's was in my view. I told him I saw him at CVS, on her street, and yelled, "Where TF were you?" He admitted he met her and they were just talking. She kicked her husband out and she emailed my husband that she missed him, my husband, and he responded to her that he missed her too. They had been corresponding through his work email since November. I kicked my husband out, again. The pain was tremendous and worse than the death of my father. My girl's Christmas and New Year's were completely ruined. Although I put on a brave face, our pain was palpable. I was in bed for days. My girls had to pick me up, put me in the shower with my pajamas on. They too were in their PJs and cried with me in there. My husband knew the pain we were in and we were separated for 2 months. During this time he begged me to go out with him, told me he was no longer communicating with her. I reluctantly agreed to go to church and participate in a marital program he suggested. He asked to please come home and work on our marriage. He swore they just met that once to talk and it was over. I wanted to save my marriage, my family. I agree again to bestow grace in the hopes of saving our marriage. A few weeks passed and we were working on us. Going to the re-engage group at church and trying to piece back where we went wrong. Things appeared hopeful, until last week.
Stay tuned for more.
My daughter's birthday is this coming weekend and we were booking a party. My husband had his cell phone and I asked if I could look at another venue. I did and was entering his email address when her email address popped up. I was curious why her email would be fresh on his email, so I told him I was going to look. He asked for his phone back and I went in my room, locked the door and found several emails. Turns out, during our 2-month separation, when he said there was no communication since I caught him and her in December, was a complete ducking lie. They were meeting face to face. One email said, "I have to go to church with me, but I want to see you later." He denied anything happened again, but said they did meet up. I cried and begged for the truth because I couldn't take any more of his torment. I and his girls had suffered so much already. I pleaded for the truth and he finally came clean and said they slept together during our separation. He claimed it was only one time. He swore it was only once. Until I decided to ask her via email how many times they slept together, her response, 2. I confront my husband and he said she was lying. After realizing he was on a sinking ship, he just gave up and said 3 times actually. They were screwing in his truck, her car and at her mom's house. I finally get the truth. I kicked him out, called her husband to let him know about his wife and my husband's affair. I told my husband that I was done and would file after mediation. He is asking for me to give him time so he can show me that he is a changed man. He said the man who did that is not him anymore. He said he loves me and took me for granted. He knows he can now be the husband I deserve. He is willing to do a postnuptial agreement that if he talks to her or any other affair happens, I could have 100% of our assets. He is tearful and now asking me to give him another chance. I know my worth. I deserve better, but 24 years is a long time. I know marriages can survive infidelity. Does he deserve it? I have a mediator on speed dial. What say you, Reddit friend? Quoting one of my favorite songs by The Clash, should I stay or should I go?
Stay tuned for more.
Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. He has shown you multiple times that he is not trustworthy and in fact, a cheating liar. You have given him the gift of multiple chances to prove himself to you, and he chose to go back and screw that woman. He put his own selfish desires above you, your children, your marriage, your family, your 24 years together. Can you ever trust this betrayer again? Friend, I know the pain of betrayal, it hurts like a mofo. But wasting another minute of your life with this proven unrepentant lying abusive cheater will just bring you back here again with even more heartache. You deserve better. You are worthy of a life of peace and respect and void of infidelity. Hit that mediator's number ASAP and get the ball rolling towards your new life, without him. Redditor 2, would you allow a man to this to your 2 daughters? Would you want to see your daughters go through this pain of being betrayed and lied to? Not once but twice. 5 years or 24 years, doesn't matter. He won't leave her alone, and by staying, you're letting him know that cheating is not a deal breaker. Answer, absolutely not. I would hate it if someone did this to my daughters. He would too, sadly. Redditor 3, one time, maybe. A close, also married family friend? No, I don't think I could. You gave the grace of attempting reconciliation. He did it again a second time? No, never. Now a third time with the same woman? And you're thinking about it? Why? Please go visit a proper therapist with experience in betrayal and trauma. You deserve so much better than this. He obviously has deep feelings for this woman. He probably loves her, and I know I couldn't live with the thought of being his second choice. He's damaged you and the family enough, I think. Time for some chump lady. Leave a cheater, gain a life. If you can't buy it, check it out from your local library. She'll give you the backbone you never knew you had. Good luck. Answer, thank you. Yes, I'm seeing a therapist and trying to get my life back together.